Welcome back, Last Request Barbecue. This is a request that comes up often in this house: Greek grilled chicken with homemade naan-like bread. It all sounds pretty complex, but it's not. It's a really simple recipe. Thank you, Sam, the cooking guy, for the inspiration for this recipe. Changed a couple of things, but really it is true to that recipe. So a couple of steps. The first step we're starting with, you got to get started a couple hours ahead so you can marinate your chicken. It comes together real quick. Grill your chicken. You got to do some stuff with the bread about an hour in advance, but it all comes together real quick. So let's get started. Lots of ingredients come together, really basically pretty simple. So let's get started putting this together. So the first thing is to flatten out our chicken. Let's get a pounding. All right, now let's get together and start making up our sauce. So here's the ingredients, pretty simple. First, 3/4 of a cup of nice olive oil. Now this is a marinade, so it doesn't need to be like your bespoke best, but you know, it is going on the chicken. So you need 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Now, don't worry about fish sauce. It is just a yummy addition. This is a funny squid brand. See, the squid brand does not contain squid. Very funny. So squid brand, but there is no squid. It is just fish sauce. So let's put the fish sauce, about 2 tablespoons. About 2 tablespoons fish sauce. And then we'll put some soy sauce in. This is dark soy. So put a tablespoon of dark soy in. There we go. Then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of pureed garlic. So I like this organic pureed garlic. I never was a guy who bought a lot of these things before, but now I love them. You know, because it calls for a lot of recipes and it adds a nice touch. So that's 1 and 2. There we go. About a tablespoon, give or take, of Dijon mustard. And to that, we add salt, pinches of salt and pepper. Then we add some thyme and rosemary, each of which is about a generous tablespoon. And then we add some lemon. My lemon squeezer seems to have gone on holiday, so I'm doing old school here. I think my executive chef is using it in parts unknown right today. Emmett off for the weekend doing some chefing with his friends. All right, so we got that. Now let's stir it up. All right, let's take a bit of that. Very good. All right, so we're gonna put our chicken into a freezer bag. Let's get it out. Now I'm gonna score this chicken. He scores! Just like this, and you know, I think it's gonna really help both the look and probably, you know, just really when it starts to, you know, get on that grill, it's gonna have a nice and beautiful look to it, and it's just gonna grill up really nice. Let's get it into the bag, and then we will add our marinade. And we're gonna add about 3/4 of the marinade. We're gonna save some, we're gonna hold some back because we're gonna brush it on as it's cooking. Seal it up, into the fridge it goes, 2 hours. And we're on to our next step. So we are gonna make the naan bread, real simple. So first of all, we take 2 1/4 cups of flour, regular all-purpose baking flour. To that, we add a pinch of salt. Maybe let's say 2 pinches of salt, 2 small pinches of salt. And then we add 1/2 a cup of yogurt, Greek yogurt. And that adds a delicious moisture. I'm pretty much actually measuring, which is kind of unheard of for a barbecuer. You know, barbecues versus bakers. A little more free form when I barbecue, but for this one, because we're making bread, I'm being a little more exact. My wife, who's the baker, is very exact, and can't believe sometimes these recipes turn out when I just count and pour. Then I'm gonna put in a teaspoon of oil. We're gonna use avocado oil. And again, look at me measuring up exactness. Teaspoon of oil. And then we're gonna put in some yeast. So this is the Fleshman's Active Yeast. That's kind of 1 package. What is that, 8 grams, 1 package. You put it in 1/2 a cup of warm water with a tablespoon of sugar, and you watch it bloom. Leave it alone for 10 minutes, which is kind of blooming now, as they call it. So we're gonna pour that in. There we go. And now we mix. So let's get the bread hook going for our KitchenAid. Then we're gonna put this in comme ça and put our hook on. We'll lower that there and lock, and we mix. And then we'll be back in 5 minutes. All right, this has been going for about 5 minutes. Let's push it the other way. There we go. Let's get that out of there. That's looking very nice. We want it to just form it into a ball. We don't need to do too much with it right now. Perfect. All right, so with this, we simply put it in a bowl and put a damp cloth on it. Cover it up, allow it to get some moisture in. Put it in a warm place, so we'll put that inside. There we go. All right, that's the beginning of that. Let's make our base that we're gonna put on top of our chicken and our naan. So basically we want equal parts of Greek yogurt. I'm gonna put in 3 of these spoonfuls mixed with, where is it? Mayo. Now we're gonna use Japanese mayo. So put in equal parts. That's about equal parts, give or take. Good way to finish this one off. 2 tablespoons of our minced garlic puree. Let's see, that's about 1. It's about 2. Maybe a little bit more just to be happy. Mix that in. I like pretty garlicky, so let's just pop it a little more. A bit of salt and pepper. There we go. Perfect. And if you have it, fresh parsley. Now I used up all my fresh parsley on a dish last night, so I've got some frozen that I always keep handy, and that'll mix in. Well, it's not perfect, but you know, it is barbecuing, so we got what we got, but it is fresh. My wonderful mother-in-law cuts it up tiny and fresh and freezes it, so there we go. And that will do the job. So let's just mix that in. Last but not least, some lemons. So let's put some lemons in. I'm gonna put in probably a whole lemon. There's a lot in here, so I like it nice and lemony. There we go. Beautiful. Check that out. Delicious. Cover it up, into the fridge, keep it cold. And now let's get the barbecue going. I've got this smoking hot with the big boy charcoal, big blocks. So let's see how that works out. There we go. Open it up, full vent. Let's see how hot it gets. All right, so this has worked out really well. We're at 500 degrees. So I guess that was lesson learned. Congratulations to the big boy charcoal. I didn't give up on it, I guess, for the second try, because it really just needs a longer time. It's thicker pieces and really burnt down. So at 500 degrees, that's pretty hot. So let's, that's looking good. Now let's get our chicken, which has been comfortably resting in the fridge, and let's start getting our chicken grilled up. Oh yeah, look at that. Woohoo! Now it's thin pieces, so we're gonna be moving it a fair bit. All right. So don't forget, we've got our rest of our marinade to use up, and we'll let that get grilling. All right, let's give that a flip already. Charring already. A little hard in the eyes, actually. It's great. I love that. That's charcoal, man. That's a charcoal cook. That's wonderful. If we had smell-o-vision, you would be knocked out from that wonderful smell. Close-up! Oh, here we go. We're going in for a close-up. Look at that. That's grilling, ladies and gentlemen. Old school charcoal grilling. Love it. All right, our bread's been sitting for about an hour. It's looking pretty wonderful. Let's get it out of here. All right, before we get our dough, our naan dough, let's get our board ready. Now let's get our naan bread out. Perfect. Look at that. Now what we want to do here very simply is just roll this out and then cut about 8 pieces. And I'm rolling it kind of funny because the board keeps moving. Basically, what you want to do here is make this in 8 equal pieces. So let's see, we cut here in half, and then here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, let's do 7. That's a little tiny one. All right, check out our chicken that's grilling away. It's pretty hot there, so we do have to keep a close eye on it. Definitely time for some additional marinade. So let's get that on now. Woo, woohoo! Yeah, this won't be long. There's some oil in there, obviously, which is causing the flare up. Let's get that off the direct heat. Don't want too much of that. There we go. Perfect. Let's see how we're doing temperature-wise with our pop thermometer here. 142. All right, so 142. So we'll put it off direct heat and let the rest of that heat just finish the job. All right, next up, we've got a rolling pin. And let's roll out our naan. There we go. My wife, she's the baker. This is me crossing over, doing a little bit of bacon. As you can see, this is why I barbecue, because I am just better at barbecuing. And then we just throw this right on here, which the Crown Verity's been heating up. Look at that bread. Check out that bread. Nice, fresh naan. All right, and while we're cooking, we're enjoying a bit of wine. So today's wine choice from Ontario, the Tragically Hip, a Head by a Century Chardonnay. Just fantastic. So cheers. So now what we want to do, while that's finishing off, let's get our chicken back over and cut it up a little bit for my wife and I to enjoy for dinner tonight. Ready to go. Dinner is ready. We've got our Greek chicken with some salad. We've got our homemade bread. Let's just wrap it up, pull it together here, and let's give it a try. Fresh off the barbecue. Let's give it a try. It's just delicious. The lemon flavors and the flavors of the chicken just jump forward, but also it's calmed down by the mayo and the Greek yogurt, some of our dressing. So no excuses, easy to make. Enjoy. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.